Abu Dhabi is being redefined. Today, its non-oil sectors drive over half of its economic activity, marking a major shift from dependence to diversification over the past few decades. How did this transformation happen? And what opportunities does the UAE capital unlock for global investors and business leaders? In the Abu Dhabi Advantage series, we'll explore the strategies, sectors, and stakeholders shaping the future of Abu Dhabi. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the world, and welcome to the first episode of the Abu Dhabi Advantage series. In this episode, we're going to dive into Abu Dhabi's business ecosystem. We're going to discover how the Chamber of Commerce supports the private sector, and we're going to explore the role that public-private partnerships play in Abu Dhabi's economy. PPPs are more than just agreements. They're a vehicle that combines vision, expertise, and funding, and they're critical to delivering infrastructure projects and future-proofing Abu Dhabi's economy. So without further ado, joining me today are His Excellency Shamis Ali Al Dhaheri, Vice Chairman of the Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce, and Peter Lembrechts, General Manager of BESIX Middle East. Welcome, gentlemen, to this conversation. Your Excellency, you've had a long career in the private sector. You've worked in big corporate, you've started many companies, you've invested in others. Drawing on this experience in the private sector, what do you think it is that makes Abu Dhabi's business environment so attractive to global companies?
Abu Dhabi is the capital of capital, as we say, and it's the safest city in the world for 8 years in a row. Over and above that, Abu Dhabi has recently announced $1.7 trillion of sovereign wealth fund assets. Abu Dhabi tries always to work hard towards finding a closer connection between the private sector and the public sector, and understanding what are the best ways to ease the process of doing business.
Great, and we're going to come back to that point. Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, BESIX has been working in Abu Dhabi since the 1960s. So building on what His Excellency has said, why do you think that is? Why are BESIX and Abu Dhabi such a good fit for each other?
I think what kept us here for more than 50 years is kind of a shared values, I think, between the Emirate of Abu Dhabi and the BESIX DNA. We have this commitment to delivery. We have this sense of quality. We have this long-term vision towards where a country and a company can evolve. And I think it's the synergy of values that has brought so many successful co-creation projects for BESIX and the Emirate of Abu Dhabi.
And I've heard you, Peter, talk about predictability and transparency in doing business in Abu Dhabi. Perhaps you could talk a bit about that.
Yeah, just like in any business, we value the clarity of process and the predictability. It's one of the reasons why we not have been hesitant to go into a number of PPPs in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, because they have exactly delivered what they promised. They promised a clear process, respect of the timings, a clear risk sharing, a dialogue about these matters, which are very important to us, and they deliver. We come again to this very important thing. What you see is what you get in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, and I think that trust builds up to a recurring partnership.
So maybe you could tell us some of the projects that BESIX has done locally, or maybe we'll start globally. What are the kind of projects BESIX does abroad, and maybe you could zoom in on what you do in Abu Dhabi or what you've done?
So we are a multidisciplinary group, Belgian roots, but active in 25 countries. We have a large business unit centered around contracting, all kind of contracting activities, be it buildings, be it sports and leisure, be it marine works, be it environmental works. And yes, that portfolio can also be seen here in Abu Dhabi, where we've been proud to be part of iconic structures such as the Sheikh Zayed Mosque, the Ferrari Theme Park, the Atnok Tower, the Emirates Palace, the Zayed Bridge. So yeah, all pieces of infrastructure that make Abu Dhabi what it is today. And I think we are proud that we were able to contribute to the growth of the Emirates.
Thank you. Your Excellency, of course, the uber goal of the Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce is to boost Abu Dhabi's activity. Now, your stated mission is to, and I quote, empower businesses in Abu Dhabi, enabling the private sector to reach its full potential within a competitive state-of-the-art ecosystem. So my question is, what exactly does the Chamber do to foster this ecosystem?
So the Chamber of Commerce does several services to the private sector. The role of advocacy is through relationships of various working groups. We identify the opportunities that are available in the private sector and then go and address these opportunities. In the last year, we've identified 127 opportunities, whether in the agricultural sector or the logistics sector or the construction sector. And we have been able to address several of these opportunities. A good example of that is the government of Abu Dhabi wanting to address the challenge of the contractual relationship between the contractor and the government of Abu Dhabi. And they came up with state-of-the-art contract form and eases the process of engagement between the parties, creating a faster engagement process and better results for the future. Another example is the AD Connect platform. It's a platform that is currently in the beta version. Basically, it connects international and local members and players in the private sector under one platform to identify the opportunities, to identify the B2B connections between various sectors and various countries.
Okay, so it's a marketplace that connects global companies to opportunities in Abu Dhabi and
global
helps...
and local.
Right, and helps local companies find out what's going on abroad, where they can invest, where they can bid. Okay.
Absolutely. And a third good example is the PPP, where around $650 million of PPP projects have been signed in the last 5 years. I guess the best person to talk about it is Peter over here.
Peter.
Explain his experience.
You're right, absolutely. Peter, maybe you could tell us more about PPPs.
Well, look, it's an experience that I like to share because it was a very positive, and it is still a very positive one. We participated to a PPP, a public-private partnership for building and investing in 3 schools, hosting over 5,000 students here in Abu Dhabi. I think it was a real win-win for all stakeholders involved, and that has a number of reasons. Alignment between partners, open dialogues, discussions upfront about risk sharing, what sits where with whom, adherence to a strict time frame. And of course, the results are that today, I think we have a project that everybody is proud of, delivered in time with value for money, creating jobs, having good returns for investors, drawing new sources of funds. So for me, it's an absolute win. And I think it is the testimony of the vision and the willingness of Abu Dhabi to look at long term, because you draw in new investors, you draw in also new lenders or lenders who are, again, rediscovering the region, who are stepping into project financing again or stepping up. They see a first success and they are part of the lending consortium in the second one. And I think that's quite important because as Abu Dhabi, it allows them to also have their funds allocated to other priorities, social, environmental, in-country industrial investments, maybe investments abroad. But it is, I think, it illustrates how Abu Dhabi is willing to stick to that vision, gives assurance to foreign investors. Look, we are in this together. We'll take it till the end. And then, of course, once you're here, it's a good place to be.
I think it's great that you've brought new investors and new global companies into the economy. And I just want to pick up on something you said on job creation, because the projects that His Excellency referred to in the last 5 years have created 5,000 construction jobs and 450 operational roles, which is significant to the economy. So that's a big success story, I think. On top of, as you say, diversifying their sources of funds, which enables them to tackle other priorities.
Absolutely. I just discussed diversification or new sources of funds, but it goes beyond that. It goes indeed about attracting new talent. It goes tapping into the private sector knowledge in terms of sustainability solutions, in terms of value engineering. It assures timely deliveries. So yes, it comes with a whole set of advantages, because in the end, that's what the public-private partnership scheme promises, and that's what it has to deliver.
Your Excellency, Abu Dhabi has said that it wants to be the #1 city in the Middle East and North Africa for business and talent attraction. How do you think it's doing towards this goal?
I believe Abu Dhabi has done great results in the past years. That's proven by the numbers of Abu Dhabi licenses that have been issued since the last decade is around 200% growth, which gives you an average of 20% licenses per annum issued by Abu Dhabi Department of Economy. The growth in the private sector is 35% since 2016. This by itself is a strong statement of how the private sector is collaborating very strongly with the government in order to continue growing and expanding the economy of Abu Dhabi.
So what role do you see BESIX playing in this growth?
Look, the Emirate of Abu Dhabi has ambitious growth plans, and we definitely want to be a delivery partner in delivering all that infrastructure, be it social, be it environmental, be it sports and leisure, of course, be it also cultural, because I think it's important we are here today in a beautiful setting. Next door, BESIX and its partner Trojan are building 2 museums, one being the Sheikh Zayed National Museum, another being the Guggenheim. So yes, we want to continue this journey also by further investing into the Emirate as a developer. So today, that was in social infrastructure. Tomorrow, I hope that some of the ambitions come to fruition when it comes to hospital PPPs. They have a number of centers of excellence plans in Abu Dhabi to really also, on the medical level, be center of the world. I also see, of course, major ambitions in the field of data centers and AI. So all this infrastructure needs to be built, needs to investment. So I hope there we can build. Of course, we have all these ambitions. So for that, we also need to bring on board new talent, continue investing in our human capital. Today, that's not a hard sell. It's a very livable city. People like the environment, what the Emirate has to offer.
Great. So the talent attraction is working. Sticking with this theme of the future, can you share with us, Your Excellency, what initiatives the Chamber is working on that will make the most significant impact on Abu Dhabi's private sector going forward?
Other than the working groups that I've mentioned earlier and AD Connect, Abu Dhabi has created a program called Al-Multaqa. Multaqa means meeting together. So we created that platform where we regularly meet with the private sector and try to understand what are the opportunities that we can serve more and help them more to grow their scales and be able to serve the sector in a better way and grow their business. Over and above that, what's worth mentioning is that we are also working on programs that will support the small and medium enterprises in developing their AI capabilities because of how important AI is to improve their efficiencies and capabilities.
Great. So Abu Dhabi is open for business for big corporate and small and medium enterprises.
Absolutely.
Right. And Peter, if you had one message to the world about doing business in Abu Dhabi, what would it be?
I think Abu Dhabi is at the center of a very dynamic region. And as an investor, as a company, if you are focused on delivery, on quality, on growth, then I think Abu Dhabi is a very good place to be.
Same question to you, Your Excellency. If you had one message to share with the world on doing business in Abu Dhabi, what would it be?
That Abu Dhabi is always striving to find strong bonds between the private and the public sectors in order to find ways how to improve their efficiencies and productivity. When you put all of this all together, it clearly demonstrates the great growth opportunities that are available in Abu Dhabi. We're here to help you set up your business.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the first episode of the Abu Dhabi Advantage series. See you next time.